Welcome. You're listening to the Keeping Ashland Healthy podcast, a podcast production of the Mental Health and Recovery Board of Ashland County, Ohio. Thanks for joining us. And welcome back to another episode of the Keeping Ashland Healthy podcast. In the studio, as always, Dr. Ashley Ackerman.
And the boss.
Yeah. We are spoiled right now. It is like 100 degrees outside, Dr. Ashley, but in this meat locker, it's perfect.
You would not believe it's as hot as it is outside.
I mean, this is totally divorced from reality.
I'm good with it.
We are shivering. It's so cold in our podcast studio audience. And I hate to say that because some of you probably don't have HVAC. I mean, I saw somebody, they had a walk out on the sidewalk. They were cooking stir fry.
Oh my God.
I mean, it is hot out there.
Too hot.
So we are recording this on, the 24th. So by the time this drops, it'll just be hopefully just a bad memory for the audience that things got really hot in Ashland County.
Right.
And so speaking of hot, we have got a hot episode for you. We are doing Are You Ready for Summer Break? So summer has officially started. School is out for most young people and even some folks in the college age. And we like to at least do one episode on some of the important activities, things to be considering as a parent. Or as a young person this summer, because connection. On the Keeping Ashland Healthy podcast, we emphasize the important role of connection across the age spectrum. And I think what we have today are, we did a blog on this, didn't we, Dr. Ashley?
Yes, we did. Yes.
11 creative ways to keep kids connected this summer.
I love that because when school ends, you know, a lot of the socialization that kids get ends also.
Yes.
And also the structure that they have in their life kind of goes away.
Yeah.
If you're not conscious of it and kind of working to keep those things. So it's a good topic.
And again, I think for those families where one or more of their children are involved with maybe sports that over the summer months, I think that gives some structure to them.
You're right. That does.
But not all now kids are involved with sports, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, for those, but even the ones involved with sports, it's got to be about more than that over the summer months. So staying connected, staying involved. So we're going to go through a list of 11 different potentials, but we recognize this won't be a good fit for every family, every situation, but feel free to modify what we talk about in a way that makes sense for your family or your situation. And one of the fun things about today's episode is Dr. Ashley and I have had very different summer break experiences. So
probably
as we go through these, we are going to hopefully share a little bit about where we align and have similar experiences and where perhaps it's vastly different.
You think? We'll see.
We'll find out. We did not compare notes in advance.
We didn't.
So the first one listed here is the family cookout.
I love a good cookout. I don't know about you.
I do too. In fact, we're getting ready for the 4th.
Yes.
So this is all about men grilling things.
Right.
So I know this is for audience. I know, this probably isn't politically correct to say, but yeah, historically, I don't know, in my family, this was like, a no female, involved. Like you couldn't come within like certain feet of the grill. And certainly we did not want to hear any suggestions about, is it done? Does it need more fire? What are you doing?
Right. That may be a stereotype, but it's pretty true in my life.
Yeah.
I try to avoid that.
It's a source of pride. I think, dads and sons, they bond over the grilling, right? We instruct.
It's manly.
This is how you take care of a flare-up, right?
Yeah.
Dad, when do you use that top rack?
That's really funny because I got a grill last year as a gift.
Oh, yeah.
For my boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I tried grilling sausage. This was the first time I grilled
a lot
on
of
my
fat
own.
comes out of those brats.
Yeah, apparently. And
it's not set it or forget it, Dr. Ashley.
I had a small fire.
Yes.
And that's the last time I grilled.
Well, audience, don't let that dissuade you from trying to grill.
Yeah.
But whether it's a fire pit or a bonfire, hot dogs, s'mores. I hate s'mores, but some people love
really?
it. Oh, that's
Wow.
the most disgusting concoction ever. But yes,
Wow.
the whole idea of food obviously
Yeah.
is critical. It has been a part of human civilization for a long time. We gather around food and the preparation of food. It's a wonderful way. Invite whoever makes that experience more fun. So
Yeah.
I think that's something, Dr. Ashley. Hopefully, some families can do multiple times this summer.
Absolutely. We still do that with my parents. We'll have a bonfire and do the marshmallows and the hot dogs and stuff. So
Yep.
I think it's a nice tradition.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Number 2 here is family movie night. Now, this can get tricky.
Yeah.
People's tastes in movies and music and other things vary, but I would just challenge audience, think about maybe a family movie that everyone might enjoy.
Yeah.
Maybe a classic.
A classic like
I don't know what that is. It depends on, for me, a classic is movies like Jaws,
Jaws. That's a classic, yeah.
right? For summer,
For me, have you ever seen The Man from Snowy River?
The Man from Snow. It sounds really sad.
It is actually kind of sad, but I loved that movie. That was a great movie.
I know the soundtrack, and it's a sad soundtrack, so
Is
that
it?
it just made me feel like the movie had to be sad too.
Yeah.
But the idea of, I've seen these very inexpensive projectors that
yeah.
you can, if you're going to do an
seen that.
outside movie night, you can throw it up on a sheet. They've got these portable screens. I've seen people put it on their barns or the side of their houses.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
really
think
cool.
that adds another dimension. So if you can do family movie night, use one
Yeah.
of those projectors and, invite a few people from the neighborhood.
That's a good idea. I like that they also say empower them, empower the kids by letting them choose a movie
Yes.
from a list of parent-approved picks. So giving them some autonomy, which is a nice thing too.
Parents, you take, you give them a list that you've pre-approved and then allow them to pick from that list. But I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, love
And
that.
again, you can add the food element, some snacks or some other things when you're out there doing family movie night. But I think that's another way, even though you'll have to settle ground rules because I don't like it, Dr. Ashley, when somebody talks to me when I'm watching a movie.
Yeah.
So, but I'm a little bit more flexible if it's a movie I've seen 20 times.
That's
right?
true. Yeah, kids are usually talking
Are
a little
they?
bit during the movie. Yeah,
That's partly why I thought a classic, because that way, if everybody's seen the movie before,
yeah, it's fine.
you can be a little bit more relaxed and talk through it, and people don't
Definitely.
get too. But if you've never seen it before, I really don't like any talking.
Do you like when people start quoting the movie?
If they've seen it before,
Yeah.
it's okay at first, and then it gets annoying.
Yeah, if they do the whole thing, it's so much. Yeah, I
That's
agree.
too much. Now, this next one, I've done this. I don't know if Dr. Ashley did it.
Mm-hmm.
Capturing fireflies. Now, not capturing to kill. It's a catch and release, but it gets dark. There's certain times of the early evening when the fireflies come out, and we would run around the yard, get our little mason jar with the holes in the top, and we would see how many we could collect, and then of course let them go. But that's a tradition that I think a lot of
I
families.
love it. Yeah, we did that too. Now I don't like the bugs as much, but
Oh.
they're pretty, like out in the fields and things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a fun thing to do with your kids.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I have been out in the country before, like on someone's deck and like looking over a cornfield.
Yeah.
And sometimes when the fireflies are thick, it really, it's not the same as fireworks, but it's really impressive. If you've never
is.
seen a big open field with fireflies that are really active, it's more, you wouldn't think it would be so interesting, but it really is.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, it is pretty.
I
Yeah.
love that.
So firefly capture, number 3. Number 4, boy, today would be the day for that.
Yeah.
Hit the pool.
Yep.
Now, we've got several pools, public pools in Ashland County, but there's a lot of private pools. And again, as my father always used to say, it just like with a boat, it's good to know somebody that owns a pool or a boat and not have one yourself.
That's true. You don't have to do all the work.
That's correct. So
Yeah.
we tried to find somebody in the neighborhood that had a pool and then, take advantage of that.
That's fun. Yeah.
Now, I did have those very cheap plastic kiddie pools that you could get at the store.
Oh yeah.
That they're like I
The
don't know,
blue ones.
like a foot deep.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I crammed one of those in my Camry and brought that home. And it did very little to cool me off, but I was desperate. It was college years, Dr. Ashley.
Wow.
And I filled up. It had octopuses and little fishes, and I filled that thing up. Yeah, it was like a bright pink or something.
I mean, that's fun. That's a trend happening right now. You can get those little pools.
Yeah.
And lounge out in your yard.
Yeah. Some people think even if you put your feet in, that cools you down.
I think it does. Yeah.
Does it?
I think so. Yeah, we've already been swimming a couple times this summer. And I think it just, it's fun. It's like physical activity, the sunshine. It just feels good,
Yep.
Good time.
Well, the pool, obviously, it doesn't have to be an Olympic swimming pool. It can be a park. Any body of water, even the small kiddie pools can come in handy. So think flexibly, parents. Hit the pool, though, but it gives an opportunity not only beat the heat, but also to interact and have a good time. I can't recall ever going to the beach or in a pool without some kind of throwing something around. Some people like to lounge. That's usually the older folks like to just lounge.
Yeah.
But if you're a kid, it's a great way to burn energy, parents.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing that burns energy like playing in water. So if you want the kids to go to bed early,
True.
hit the pool.
My kid also loves the log roll.
The log roll.
You know what the log roll is?
They had that at Clay's Park.
Yeah, I think
back
they
in
do
the day.
have one. We go to Baylor Beach.
Oh,
But yeah, he loves that. He run on that all day.
yeah. Cautionary tale though. I saw a kid get spun off and cracked his mouth right on it. And
I could see how that happens. Yeah, I've never actually had
pretty
that.
sure
but-
it's all fun and games till somebody loses a tooth.
With caution.
We just hope it wasn't a permanent tooth.
Right.
So next up, number 5, indoor as opposed to outdoor. And I think you can do either one. Indoor game night.
Game night. I like that. So like board games and stuff.
Board games.
What kind of board games do you like?
Yeah. So again, you got to think of the audience that you have, but with lots of kids, I think Monopoly's a standard.
Oh, I don't like Monopoly.
You don't? Okay.
No, it takes so long for Monopoly. You
Yeah.
gotta play for a whole day.
Yeah.
I don't
Risk.
like them. Oh, never played Risk.
No. I'm trying to think of multiple people. There could be. I like Uno.
Uno's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean-
on all the variations of Uno now.
Right.
Really
And you
cool.
can get like 6 people or more. So whether
true.
there's a variety of games. See, I've lost Scrabbles. There's the classics, but there's so many board games. And I think they're making a comeback, actually.
Oh yeah, there's stores of just all kinds of games.
Yeah,
now.
so I know I'm behind the times. It's probably not puzzle season. I usually puzzle in the winter, but puzzles are still not a game per se, although
Yeah.
you can turn it into one if you compete. So,
Yeah, that's true. I always liked Guess Who. Did you ever play that?
No.
Oh,
Guess
really?
the Guess
It's
Who was
really
a
fun.
band back in the 70s, I think.
No, that's The Who.
No, the Guess Who.
The Guess Who's a band?
Yes.
Really? I thought it
And
was
The
just
Who is
The
also a band.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway,
Indoor
so we
game
differ a
night.
little on that one.
Make it a laughing, playing, making memories so your kids. And I'll tell
Yeah.
you, those board games or card games or anything of that sort, yeah, they do have the potential to make lasting, lifelong memories. I can remember some fun times
Absolutely.
playing board games.
Good times.
Now, this other one I have noticed a lot.
Oh, my.
Is local events. I am telling you, Dr. Ashley, so many people do things. There are so many things scheduled every weekend throughout the summer. So, audience, it's not that hard to look online, especially with social media. It's easier than ever, I think, to see what's going on in your community.
Yes, I agree.
There are no shortage of whether it's car shows, different parades, different. I can't even.
Library programs.
Yes.
Like Ashland is especially great at this. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot going on in the community.
Yeah. Ashland Main Street, so many events downtown. There's just always something to do locally. So Ashland County has done a wonderful job having different things that appeal to different groups of people. So as Dr. Ashley said, whether it's the library, the Park District, Explore Ashland, a Kroc Center, the concert series that we have going on. And again, we've talked about park districts quite a bit, but there's just always different opportunities. So yes, look out for local events. There are plenty of them going on. Shout out to our mayor. Mayor Miller is very passionate about this idea of community gathering in a positive way, and he has really tried to facilitate a lot of different options since he's
great.
become the mayor, and appreciate him.
Absolutely.
And then this is a reverse of something we talked about before, outdoor game night or game day.
Yeah.
And this, come on, you played hide and go seek.
Hide and go seek. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. That was a good one. They suggest lawn darts, like
Yes.
glow in the dark lawn darts. That sounds way fun.
You can do that in the day or the night. We didn't.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to do it in the dark because I could get a little reckless with throwing those darts. Now, again, here, audience, you know what I'm talking about. If you're over a certain age, the lawn darts I grew up. These were deadly missiles. So that they were the tips.
Yeah.
Were solid metal.
I've seen them.
They would go through a skull. I
Yeah.
mean, if you
Straight through an eyeball.
absolutely, these were deadly
Terrible.
things.
Yeah.
Now I don't know, they're like safety darts or something now. But yeah, so make sure you're not going with OG lawn darts because those things should come with and then there was no cautionary statement. And I hear take these deadly pieces of metal and just start chucking them.
I'm so glad you survived your childhood.
It was touch and go, let me
Right.
tell you. So lawn darts, if you get the right kind. So many. Pickleball is crazy. What is going on with
yes.
pickleball? There's tournaments,
Everyone's
there's
playing
courts.
pickleball. I want to play pickleball.
Ashland is pickleball crazy.
Yeah.
Audience may know that I'm involved with Ashland Noon Lions, and we had a speaker talk to us about pickleball here in Ashland County.
That's cool.
And it was very educational. He went through all the different types of rackets.
Oh.
It's like serious, Dr. Ashley. You can get like graphite, like super expensive, hundreds of dollars on rackets.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
I mean, I thought it was badminton, but it's kind of like that, but more. It's pretty wild.
Between badminton and tennis, kind of, right?
Yeah, and I feel like it's something that older folks that maybe aren't too athletically inclined said this is for us, right?
Heck yeah. That's why I want to play.
But it's taken off. I mean, so
it seems fun.
yep. I think kids, family members. I do like the kind of group sporting opportunities. So you
Yeah.
get different teams and you can rotate. And again, volleyball is still always a great,
Yeah.
you can do 4-on-4, 3-on-3, whatever. Volleyball is just
Always fun.
badminton, again, in addition to pickleball. Plenty of opportunities for outdoor games. As kids, we didn't even, like I said, hide and go seek's example, but you don't even have to have a lot of equipment to come up with an outdoor game that young people can play. So.
Right. Yes.
Another one that hopefully, audience, you'll do multiple times this summer is the traditional picnic.
I love a good picnic.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you have a basket? Yogi
I do.
Bear?
I do have a
Okay.
basket. Yes. That's something we always did with my
Yeah.
grandma. And now I like to do that with my family too.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, there's a whole prep thing, right? So you got to
Yeah.
get your cooler.
they
gotta
have
get your
these things now
ice.
called snackle boxes. Have you seen that?
What is that?
It's like a tackle box
Snaggletooth?
for snacks.
A what? You're just
A
making
snackle
things
box,
up.
promise. Walmart, Target, you can find them.
A snackle box.
Yeah, so, and then it has compartments for different snacks you take on your picnic.
This sounds ridiculous.
I love it. So
This is.
I'm on board for the snackle boxing.
Does it require ice?
No. Well, I guess maybe if you had some shrimp in there or something, but this is not for
That's
that.
a random food. Shrimp. Yes. Shrimp cocktail. That requires ice. Everything else is fine. Well, the picnic, I like the idea of the food because you can be really planful. They even sell some like plasticware and glasses and all that stuff that are not glass. But I think the other part of the picnic that I love is the location.
Yeah.
So
the parks.
yes, Ashland has a wonderful location, and part of the picnic, it's not just the food and the company, but it's where you do the picnic, right? So you want to pick something that has a pleasant view.
Yeah.
So water elements, we've got several of those in town. The different parks that we have. Maybe it's a wooded scene, it's the sun or gardens. So think not only about the picnic basket and the food, but where?
Yeah.
And then I suppose it matters who you do the picnic with.
I think that's important too.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and what about a picnic blanket?
Maybe. Yeah, you could do on the
Traditional
ground.
check pattern?
Or like pavilions are always nice too
Yep.
for a little picnic, you know?
Or the actual table.
Yeah.
So there's some varieties on where.
Yeah, good point.
So the picnics, and that was number 8. Number 9, reading a book together. Now, I'm a big reader, so this was something Mom and I did when I was younger. She did this with all the kids, although my 2 sisters and brother, it didn't take as much with them. But this idea of you get a list of books, and a lot of times schools will give out book list, right? Summer list. So that might kill a couple birds with one stone if you choose that. But the idea is everybody gets a chance to read either a paragraph or a chapter, however you want to do that. But I can't emphasize enough, parents, allowing opportunities for your sons and daughters to read out loud in a friendly, relaxed. It'll help build their skills and their confidence but reading is really, really helpful for learning.
Yeah, and it's really connective when you're reading a story together and talking about it.
Definitely experience it differently. And then I think it's fun to start, as you get more and more comfortable with reading, your voice inflections and the sound effects and all that. And it really becomes a really fun family or small group activity when you do it aloud like that.
And you've mentioned choose your own adventure stories too before. Yep. That's really fun to do too with your kids. And have them kind of direct the story.
Yep. And just and talk through, it's like, what decisions should we make?
Yeah. It's really fun.
Now this next one, I did a little of this, but I never had the right equipment. So I got discouraged. Stargazing.
It seems like it would be great. I've never done that either.
Well, there's things on your phone like, tell you like what sky.
You're looking at?
Yes, it'll because it knows your location, obviously, because the phones are always watching and listening to us. But it will throw up like what you're seeing in the sky on your phone and like point everything out, so you don't have to. Because people would always, what they'd always say, "There's the Big Dipper."
Yeah,
and
they don't know. It's always the Big Dipper.
I'm like, you could point to any random collection of 4 to 8 stars and say that. I'm like, is that really the Big Dipper? I mean, I don't know.
That's true. I don't know. I really like that idea. So this has been helpful for me too, because we might try that.
Well, did you know about there's this Warren Rupp Observatory in Belleville?
I didn't know that.
Well, apparently you can visit there first Saturday of the month. It opens to the public. And they've got a very, very big telescope there called Big Blue. It's a 36-inch diameter reflecting telescope. I'm pretty sure that'll make the moon look much closer.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Well, as you know, I walk early in the morning, so I do get to see the moon in all its different phases, and that is fun. I mean, sometimes it really is amazing to me how much, even with the naked eye, that you can make out. I can only imagine with some of these bigger telescopes, the level of detail that you can see.
Did you see the strawberry moon? I missed
that. I think it was rhubarb. I saw the rhubarb moon, but I missed strawberry.
Okay, cool.
No, I heard about it. I think I did.
Okay.
Yeah, they do have a lot of different names for some of these moons. Then there's a reason behind it all. I just don't always remember. But yes, I did see something that was called a strawberry moon.
Very good.
And then last but not least, number 11, we've talked about this before, try out the trails.
Yes, hit the trails.
We have got plenty of hiking trails in Ashland County. Doing this, again, you can incorporate the picnic into this. Maybe you hike for a little bit, you do the picnic, and then you hike out.
Take your bike, maybe.
Or you can bike it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But there are just so many trails. I think in the article, the blog article, we even hyperlinked to a map that listed them all. And so if folks want to see the blog, they just go on our Facebook page. Is that the easiest way, Dr. Ashley?
Yeah.
To see our blogs? Yeah,
Facebook page, or you can go to ashlandmhrb.org. You click resources, and then the blog is under there. So it's the most recent one.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, we understand that screens and schedules and things like that can separate us. I think there's an opportunity to connect, and it's more important than ever that we do that. Let's not let our screens, my pet peeve about going to restaurants and everybody's on their screen. It's like, put the screens down.
Find some other ways to actually purposefully connect with your family and the people you love.
Yep.
It's good for your mental health.
It is.
And it makes us more resilient in life.
We need to discipline the amount of time we spend with our screens. It's just a healthy thing to do. I'm not anti-screens. It's a screens in moderation, screens in proportion. these other things, we just can't give them up. They're too important to give up. So hopefully, audience, you can reflect back on some of these 11 different things that we talked about to stay connected, help your young people in your life or yourselves stay connected this summer.
Yes, have fun.
Have fun with it. Yes, that's the important part. So until we talk again next time, Dr. Ashley, stay cool.
Yeah, you stay cool too.
And get that kiddie pool. Yes. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Keeping Ashland Healthy podcast. The podcast is a production of the Mental Health and Recovery Board of Ashland County, Ohio. You can reach the board by calling 419-281-3139. Please remember that the board funds a local 24/7 crisis line through Appleseed Community Mental Health Center. It can be reached by calling 419-289-6111. That's 419-289-6111. Until next time, please join us in keeping Ashland healthy.